You love your life, you love your children, and still feel like you're silently falling apart. Because when you're navigating grief, raising children who all need something different from you, and carrying the mental load that nobody else even sees, there's no pause button. But what if calm, space, and support aren't a luxury? What if they're the very thing that changes everything? This is a conversation we're not having enough, and it might be exactly what you need to hear today. This is Confessions of a Working Mum. Hello and welcome to Confessions of a Working Mum, the space where we get honest about the beautiful, messy reality of modern motherhood, ambition, and everything in between. I'm your host, Michelle Akester-Marsh, founder of Unshakable Mama. I'm a life coach and healer, wife and mum, and a family-focused feminist, supporting working mums to reconnect with more calm, confidence, and self-trust so they lead themselves and their families with more presence, ease, and joy. Today, I'm really excited to be joined by Hayley Prescod from the Empowered Women Academy, who has courageously stepped forward to help shift the story for other working mums and their families, one mum, one boundary, one belief shift at a time. So welcome, Hayley. Thank you so much for joining me on the show today. It's a real joy to have you here. And it's not the first time we've spoken, so welcome back.
I know, it's exciting. I'm like round two.
Round two of my podcasts. Yes. So would you like to share a little bit about who you are, your background, what you do, your kids?
I would love to. So I am a life mentor, Reiki master, and I support women to reconnect, reignite, and rise with their power and purpose, creating their own magical ripple effect, which looks different for all of us. There's not one size fits all. It is bespoke to individual needs. And I'm a mum to three. So we're navigating the teenage years. I've got a 15-year-old, nearly 16. Hardest parenting I've ever done, not going to lie. Enjoy your littlies. And then I have got two girls. So my oldest is my son, and then two girls. They are 7 and 9. And all of their needs are different, as our needs are, right? Again, even navigating parenthood, you think you've smashed it, I've got this, and then something shifts because they're all different. So one size doesn't fit all with them and parenting either.
Very well summarized there. Yeah, I completely resonate with all of that. Yeah, and I'm not far behind with 13 and 9.
Yeah.
So yeah. So what would you like to share with relation to like your confessions? Like, tell us about the juggle for you.
I think the juggle was real, really real. And I think that sometimes people think, oh yeah, you're a life coach, or you're running your own business, or you've got this. And people make assumptions a lot. So then people assume that you've got all your shit together, when actually, really, I'm a mum juggling multiple crowns, multiple children, needs, businesses, partner, friend, family. The juggle is real, no matter where you are on your journey. There is always a juggle. Life will always life. We can't control lifing, no matter how big our ritual box is, no matter how much skills and knowledge that we've got. Life will always life. And we get caught up in that. And I think when we are mums as well, and we want the best for our children, and you're not going all in on one thing, you're not just being able to be laser focused on your business or laser focused on just being that best mum, you're juggling. And I think for a long time, I felt as well that even though this assumption was on me, but I also felt that as a mentor, I should have all my shit together. And actually the reality is that I don't. Life's for me the same as it does for you. And life is tricky sometimes and hard. It is hard.
Yeah. So have you got some specific examples to share?
Well, actually, specific examples, probably just for me this year, 2025 has been a really tough year. That actually for me, I'm grateful for my ritual box and the knowledge that I hold, because for example this year I lost my mum unexpectedly at the beginning of the year, so that was tough. And grief is tough. If you've
Yeah.
experienced grief, it's tough. And actually, at the moment, that's really hard leading up to Christmas and that time of year. And the first of everything always hits harder, I feel. And then this year, I've had 2 really big health scares myself on the back end of losing my mum. So then actually that support that my mum would have given or had, and actually all of a sudden navigating my own health issues and scares, alongside still being the parent and trying to be there for my children and them navigating losing their nan, whilst also trying to keep my business moving forward and growing, and being able to step into that power of, I've got my business crown on now, and regardless of what is going on for me, I am now holding space for others so they can move forward and build their ritual box so they can navigate life easier.
Yeah. Yeah, that's all well said. And I just want to just take a moment just to acknowledge, like, acknowledge for you, like, this incredible amount that you've had to hold this year.
Yeah.
It's been a lot.
It has been a lot. It has, yes.
I hope you've taken a pause and for yourself and actually reflected on.
I have paused, and actually something I talk about a lot with my clients is the power of the pause. And allowing yourself what you need and not boxing or ignoring what you need. And actually, for me, that has, or is what has allowed me to navigate this year and still be standing at the end of it. There is a past version of me that actually just one of those things would have broken me to actually go through. So I lost my mum, then I had a health scare with a brain tumor, followed by a health scare of breast cancer. Truly grateful that both of those things are now clear and we're moving forward. But carrying those things, those worries, those concerns, those what ifs, just one of those things alone would have broken me. Whereas actually, I do feel proud to think that I have navigated those 3 things on top of a very hormonally tricky teenage boy, whilst then still being a good parent to your other children that all need you in different ways. I do actually allow myself to pause and go, you've actually done quite well this year. Be proud of navigating and getting through it.
Not quite well. Very well.
Yeah.
Incredibly well.
Yeah.
Absolute
Yes.
queen energy.
Yeah. We love a bit of queen energy.
Absolutely. So how would you say that, like, this has impacted into who you are as a mum in general?
I think motherhood, I think it's one of those things that, for me personally, I do put myself, like, this expectation on myself of being the best mum to my children. What is tricky with that is, for me as well, parenting isn't one size fits all, because what works with child number 1 doesn't work with child number 2. And then you think you've cracked it, and then child number 3 is completely different again. And you're like, okay, this isn't working. And it would be easy to go, I'll blame the child, or there's a problem with the child. And it's like, actually, no, they're just different. They have got different needs. So meeting, like, I do my utmost best to meet my children on an individual level. But that does come with its own challenges, because, for example, my big child, my 15-year-old, will go, oh, you parent the girls completely differently to you parent me. And I'm like, because they're different. If I parented them the way that I parented you, that it doesn't work. But then trying to navigate all of that and meet their needs while meeting your own needs, probably the truth of the matter is exhausting.
Yeah.
Is the truth. Like, I feel lucky that I would say to people, I navigate life easier than some, because I've built my ritual box, my knowledge, my wisdom. But the one thing I would say is it's exhausting. I am always exhausted from juggling all of those things.
Yeah. Understandably. And
Understandably.
There will be many women who agree, including myself.
Yeah. It is exhausting. And that is the one thing that, again, taking that time out for yourself, which often people can think it's a luxury, or they feel guilty that they shouldn't be. But actually, and I used to be that mum. I used to think I couldn't take time for me. I just had to be in my business or serve my children. Whereas actually now it's like, no, I have to serve me so that I'm the best mum, the best mentor, the best Reiki master that I can be in that moment, in that day, because lifing and our own emotions and needs and cycles influence all of that. But actually just taking time out for me to reset, recharge, meet myself where I am is equally as important, because exhaustion, tiredness, I don't think we can always take that away, especially if I think back to my babes in arms, the sleep deprivation, it's real and it affects you. But having those little pockets of time that you can just catch up and ease the exhaustion, the tiredness, it makes it easier to navigate.
And that's the key, isn't it? It's the pockets, the micro moments. And we think that it has to be something so much bigger than that, but actually it is those tiny little moments, those little sparks of joy throughout the day here and there that actually make everything so much easier to navigate. I find.
And I agree. It's one of the things that we probably have in common, that we both share, that actually it's those pockets, the little bits of joy. And at the end of the day, instead of sitting in the tiredness, the hardness, it's sitting in what did bring me joy today? What were those pockets of joy? And even like for me, a big thing at the moment is navigating my teenage son. He is very tricky and it is draining me and I'm finding it hard. And I don't deny that it is hard. But even at the end of the day and thinking, okay, he's been challenging or he's been hard work or this feels really hard. But then finding that little bit of, do you know what? He was nice to me today. He could tolerate me, albeit maybe for 5 minutes, but holding on to that, because what you focus on grows, doesn't it? So you could allow yourself to sit in the hard, or you can allow yourself to find the joys, the sparkles, the happiness throughout.
What has gone right?
Yeah, what has gone right? Bits that I've won at today.
Yeah, amazing. So what do you find when you say hard? Have you got specific kind of examples of what you find hard about parenting, like for our listeners here with teenagers?
So let's focus on the teenage, because for me this has been the hardest parenting, having my 3 children, even looking back to those days when I was sleep deprived, and I'm like, I'd go back to that all day long. But I guess part of it, if I'm completely honest, is you're in control back then. Whereas when you get to a 15-year-old who is my case as well, being a son who towers way over me, they've got that testosterone, that masculine energy, and they live in their masculine energy at that age. Mine does. And don't get me wrong, I've spoken to people and they're like, my 13-year-old's like it, or they're like, Hayley, we're not there yet. And I guess some children don't go through it, some do. They're all different, we're all different. But I guess it's a lot of it is them finding and navigating their own way, which might not be quite in line or in tune with you, or the expectation that you create or the story that you create, and then it doesn't go that way. That's not just with navigating a teenage son. I think for me this year, that is life in general. I think it's hard. All of a sudden they don't want to spend time with you. Like my son, very much, if I'm honest at the moment, I'm either a taxi or a bank to him. Okay. And I'm like, I'm not just your bank account and I'm not just your taxi. And then reasserting your boundaries. Like I think the boundaries have had to change. So it sounds awful that they aren't just in control of you. I think it's that navigating that push-pull of, I'm still your mum. You've actually still got a lot of learning to do. And actually the best advice I was ever given when I was pregnant with my son, so nearly 16 years ago, actually, because he's about to turn 16. And a client said to me, Hayley, I need to be honest with you. And I'm going to tell you this because everybody says to you that the baby phase is hard, but don't worry, it gets easier. Just the baby phase is hard. I'm not going to lie to you, it's hard, but it does get easier. And she said, it never gets easy. She said, every stage is hard and it comes with different obstacles and challenges. So don't be fooled that it will ever get easier. When you become a parent, it will always have an element of hardness because you want the best for your children. And that's
such good advice. And actually that's something that's come out a few times in these conversations, either I
Okay.
can't remember if it's either on recordings or like when I've been talking privately to them as well.
Yeah.
And it's so true, so true.
Yeah.
And also the other thing, like I remember a friend saying to me years ago, she said, why did I have to become a mum until people will actually tell me how hard it is, or get pregnant before people would actually tell me how hard it is? Why did nobody tell me before I got pregnant? And like, it's like this secret club.
Yeah.
This mum's club.
And I think you've hit on something there, Michelle, that it's actually in life, and obviously why you're doing this, but people share their highlight reel, don't they? They tell you all the good things, but actually it's just a segment of it, and you've got to have the opposite. So with all the good, there's going to be hard, but people just want to tell you the good, or they want to tell you that their life is rosy and everything's together. But the reality is, in some ways, my life is really rosy and it's really lovely. And I'm a massive fan of gratitude and focusing on what I've got and not what I haven't, and the sparkles, not the darkness. And I always believe that within the darkness, there'll always be some light. Even with losing my mum and knowing what was about to happen, there was still an element of light in there, that we had a little smile because we were reliving memories and moments and the sparkles. And that is the same with parenthood, that people will share, oh, my child sleeps all night. Okay. And that poor mum that's going, well, mine doesn't. And then you start questioning, is your child broken? Is there something wrong? And it's like, absolutely not. It's different for all of us. And with the highs and the loveliness, there will be lows and hardness.
Definitely.
And we need to share the hardness more, I think, because we realise you're not the only one navigating those hard moments or sleepless nights or cheeky teenagers.
Yeah, and I say exactly why I'm hosting this
and we need more of this.
So
absolutely.
That's incredible. It's we need the raw and the real for sure.
Yes.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for sharing all of this. It's it's going to be really useful nuggets of wisdom for some mums. Even if we're saying, like, even if it's one mum, it helps. One mum resonates, then that's, more mums than you.
Well, exactly. And that's the magical ripple effect, isn't it? Even if your message or your story helps one person, that then helps one person and helps one person, it's worth sharing, in my opinion.
Definitely. Well, thank you so much for sharing. And Hayley, what is it that you often dream of or long for?
Wow. What do I dream of? In an ideal world, I guess balance, that the calm and the peace, which I create. I have pockets of that throughout my day, my week, my months. But I guess just more of that, more calm, more balance, but not just for me, for everybody. I do think if we could all just have that time for us without guilt, to be able to give without resentment, being able to say no to something if it's not lighting you up, and yes to the things that bring you joy, like saying more yeses to the things that bring you joy. And actually, something I learned recently is people talk a lot, don't they, about FOMO and that fear of missing out. But something I learned this year that has been really helpful is JOMO, and the joy of missing out.
Yes.
That instead of sat at home, it's great, isn't it?
I heard it a few years ago and I'm like, oh, the joy of missing out. What can I say no to?
It almost empowered me to say no, so I could sit at home in my little bubble of joy. And I just felt cool to share that, because I'm sure that could help a lot of people that are listening to this. But what do I dream of? I guess my ideal life is being able to serve women to become the best version of them, but to have the same amount of time to pour into my children so they can be the best versions of them. Whereas I feel as women, it's always that push-pull and that trying to manage time and serve everybody. And it's just to create that perfect day where you can serve you can serve your clients, you can serve your children, and not be tired at the end of it.
Sounds perfect. Although I have to say, I don't know how many times I've said this on recording, so if people are listening, they've heard me say this before, although maybe that's a good thing. I've taken perfect out of my dictionary, out of my vocab, because I just think it means something so different to everybody, or even yourself on different days.
Absolutely.
So that's,
I love you've removed that. That's powerful. And actually, somebody said to me once, I did some training with a guy from America, and actually perfect doesn't exist.
It's a
so
perception.
to remove it is powerful, isn't it, that it
Yeah.
doesn't exist. We are doing the best we can each day with the tools, the skills, the knowledge that the energy that we've got in that moment at that time. And we're all human. So there will be days that it goes wrong, or we don't feel we've done the best we could have done, but we take the lesson of that, and tomorrow's a fresh day and we get to go again.
Exactly. Every moment's a fresh moment.
Oh yeah, I like that. Yes, absolutely. Yes.
Yeah.
Love that.
It's so much fun talking to you. I could talk to you for hours.
I know. I love talking.
Yeah. And my final question for today, the mystery one that I told you about, I warned you about. How much would you pay a fairy godmother to come and help you achieve what you're longing for?
Ooh.
Or how much would you have paid her back when you were really struggling? And now, how much would you pay her now for those longings?
I guess, I don't know in terms of, but for me, everything that I've learned, where I am now, for me, it's priceless, as in you can't put a price on it. And if you know what it is that you need, for me, it would be willing to pay to put your needs first, because so many people that I talk to, and they say to me, I can't afford it. But when it comes to your children, you'd find that money all day long. So why can't you give yourself that same amount of money on a weekly or a monthly basis? Most people have a child that do at least one club a week. That costs money. I know how much I pay for 3 children to do clubs, that I actually now go, I'm going to invest that same amount of money in me. Why should I just serve my children and go without for my children to have? And sometimes it means we have to scale back, but it's knowing that I am worthy of the investment as well.
Yeah.
Whatever it is that you need.
That's totally fair, isn't it? And but if you're scaling back as a family rather than just you going without.
Yeah.
And I just see the family as a team. Like, we're all just a team.
Yeah.
And we're all equals.
Yeah. But I have been that guilty mum of going, I can't afford it, but I'll always find the money for my children. That actually I'm like, no, we either all have or we all go without. And there might be times that I remember, I don't know if people can relate to being guilty of this, but if I brought one child something thinking I have to buy all my children something, and it's like, no, Hayley, you don't. If that child needs a new pair of shoes, they need a new pair of shoes, they get a new pair of shoes. Yeah. And when the others need that, they get it too. Nobody should have to go without or sacrifice for the sake of somebody else. It's meeting your needs as well as your children's needs when they need to be met, not because you're putting something above the other. It's meeting the need when you need it. And if your children need clubs, and that brings them joy and happiness, it's identifying what you need, what brings you joy and happiness, and finding a way to give yourself that.
I love that. Yeah, that's beautiful. I totally agree with that. Thank you so much for coming to chat to me today. It's been
Thank you for having me. It's all beautiful.
You're listening to Confessions of a Working Mum. Much love and thanks goes to Hayley for her time and courage to share her story today. I want you to know how amazing you are. You're not alone, and I feel everything you do for everyone else. I hope you take from this conversation that even in the hardest seasons, grief, fear, everything life throws at you, it's still possible to create little pockets of calm, to allow yourself to receive more support and to stop doing it all alone, so you start feeling like you again. If this episode has stirred something in you and you're ready for more space and support, a good place to start is by downloading my free Overload Reset or applying for your free personalized permission oracle reading. For deeper support and accountability to integrate change, you're welcome to explore a 60-minute one-to-one mind massage with me, or step inside Unshakable Mama's 4-month portal to peace and possibility. They're here for you whenever you're ready. Thank you so much for joining me for this episode. If you found it insightful, please subscribe so you don't miss future episodes, and feel free to share with another working mum who needs to hear this.